Let me say something that's probably going to go directly against what you've been told. Chronic stress is not why you're still sick. And I know the second I say that, part of you is like, wait, what? Because everywhere you look right now, people are telling you it's your stress. Your nervous system is dysregulated. You just need to calm your body down. And listen, I'm not saying stress doesn't matter. What I'm saying is this: the way it's being explained to you is incomplete. And because it's incomplete, it's keeping you stuck. Because let's be honest, if you're watching this, you already know you're stressed. You don't need another person telling you that. You totally feel it. Your body feels tight, your sleep is off, your energy crashes, your brain feels foggy. You don't need awareness, you need resolution. And this is where people start getting frustrated because you've probably tried to fix the stress. Be honest, you've tried deep breathing, meditation apps, nervous system exercises, grounding, cold exposure, supplements for cortisol, prayer, and maybe for a moment you felt a little shift, a little calm, a little relief. But then what happened? You went right back. Same fatigue, same gut issues, same inflammation, same cycle. And now you're sitting there thinking, okay, if stress is the problem, why isn't fixing stress fixing the problem? This is where people get stuck right here, because now you start doing more techniques, more supplements, more effort. And underneath all that effort, there's this quiet frustration building. Like, why isn't this working? And if we're being real, sometimes it even turns to, what am I missing? Am I doing this wrong? Why does this work for other people, but not for me? And this is the part nobody says out loud, but a lot of people feel like, is something just wrong with me? And I'm going to be very direct here. The health space has done a terrible job explaining this because they've reduced it down to something too simple. They've turned it into stress is bad, reduce the stress, and you'll heal. That sounds good. It's easy to say, but it's not accurate, because if that were true, then anyone who relaxed would get better. And of course, that's not what we're seeing at all. So let's talk about what's actually happening, because this is where things start to make sense. It's not just stress that's making you sick. It's that your body got stuck in a protective state and it hasn't shifted out of that yet. That's different, very different, because once your body is in that state, everything changes. Your body has two primary priorities: protection or healing, and it can't fully do both at the same time. So when your system perceives a threat, it shifts into protection. And when that happens, healing slows down, detox slows down, repair slows down, energy production shifts. That's not because your body's broken, but because it's doing its job. The problem is it never switched back. Let me say that again in a different way, because this is important. It's not that your body doesn't know how to heal. It's not that you're missing the right supplement. It's not that you haven't tried hard enough. It's that your body is still prioritizing protection, even though that original threat may be gone. And here's what creates a mismatch, where you're doing the right things, but your body isn't responding the way it should be. And that disconnect, that's what makes this so frustrating. Let me show you exactly what this looks like. I had a client come in, and if you looked at what she was doing, you would have said, she's doing everything right. Clean diet, targeted supplements, addressing infections, trying to support detox. She wasn't guessing, she was actually putting in the effort, and yet she wasn't getting any better, not consistently. What she was experiencing instead was cycles. She would improve, then crash, improve, then crash, over and over and over again. And every time she crashed, what do you think she did? She tried to fix it with more supplements, more detox, more support, trying to push her body forward. But here's what we found. When we actually looked deeper, her body wasn't lacking tools. It was lacking the permission to heal. And I know that phrase might seem strange, but stay with me, because what that meant was her nervous system was stuck in protection mode. And because of that, her body would only partially progress, not full healing. So what did it look like practically? It looked like her immune system would activate, then it would stall. Detox pathways would open, then they would shut. Inflammation would drop slightly, then it would spike again. Energy would improve briefly, then she'd totally collapse. not random, it was patterned. Because her body was basically saying, I'll go this far, but no further. Let things move, but not fully. I'll allow progress, but I'm not going to let go of protection. And this is the part that people miss. Because from the outside, it looks like inconsistency, but from the inside, it's control. So the issue wasn't lack of supplements, lack of detox, lack of effort. The issue was her body did not feel safe enough to complete the healing process. So instead of doing more, we changed the approach. We stopped trying to force the body forward and we addressed what was keeping it stuck. We worked on restoring proper signaling, reducing the internal threat response, allowing the body to shift out of protection mode. And once that happened, everything changed. The same thing she had already been doing started working. Her body finally processed what was there, cleared what needed to be cleared, stabilized energy, reduced inflammation consistently, not because we added more, but because her body could finally respond. So here's the truth, and I want you to really hear this. You don't have a stress problem. You have a body that is stuck in protection, and until that changes, you will keep doing the right things and feeling like they're not working. If you feel like you've been doing everything right, trying all the things and still not getting the results you should be getting, there's a reason for that, and it's not random. I break this down step by step in what I call a what's wrong with my body forensic level evaluation, where we look at what your body is prioritizing, where it's stuck, and what actually needs to happen first. So you can stop guessing and finally understand what's really going on. The link is in the comments below. If you've been told over and over again, just reduce stress, and you've tried and it hasn't worked, this is probably the missing piece.